A very good morning to one and all. Once again, welcome to Geography class. In this class, we are going to talk and discuss about the second point of the chapter number Water Resource. Dear cadet, first we are moving to the flashback. In our previous class, we had seen about what is the meaning of water resources, what do we mean by water scarcity, and we had seen about the number of the causes, the factors which are responsible for the water scarcity, conservation of the water, and so on. I request you all, please open your textbook and your notebook to copy down the important point from this presentation. Point number 1, in this topic we are going to talk and discuss about multi-purpose river valley project. That means the multi-purpose river project and integrated water resource management. And next we are going to have the discussion on map work, which is going to be very important in the view of board examination. One map work will be there in board examination from this chapter. So without wasting time, let's proceed. But how do we conserve and manage the water? The topic is speaking in a question way. How do we conserve and manage water resources? Archaeological and historical record shows that from ancient times we have been constructing the sophisticated hydrological structures like dam built of stone rumbles, that means a small stone, reservoirs or lakes on embankment or canals for irrigation. Not surprisingly, we have continued this tradition in modern India by building dams in most of our river basin. So this particular paragraph is talking about from the ancient historical time to the archaeological one. We are seeing the number of the dams, and the dams are used for multi-purpose. Our topic is that the multi-purpose river project. So they are the dams. Next, hydrological structure in ancient India. So this is the interesting aside given in your textbook. By reading this, you can understand about that. In which century where the water harvesting system was there, right? Please go through it. Next, in 11th century also you can see about the Bhopal lake, one of the artificial and largest lake of its time was built. Okay. Next, moving further to discuss more about this chapter. What are dams and how do they help us in conserving and managing water management? Point number 1. Dams were traditionally built in impound river and rainwater that could be used later to irrigate agricultural field. Today, dams are built not for irrigation but for electricity generation, water supply for domestic and industrial use, flood control, recreation, inland navigation, fish breeding, etc. That's why they are referred as a multi-purpose project, where the many use of impounded water are integrated with one another. So it's a very lovely part here. In this particular part, we are going to see about the importance of dam. For example, In Satluj Bees river basin, the Bhakra Nagal project is there, which is used for both the the hydropower production and irrigation. Similarly, the Hirakund project in the Mahanadi basin integrate the conservation of water with the flood control. Next, few points I want to highlight here. Point number 1 here. First, what are dams? So first we are going to see about what are dams. So in the textbook only, in interesting aside, it is placed about that the dam is a barrier across flowing water that obstruct directly or retract the flow, often creating a reserve, lake or embankment. So the dam refers to a reservoirs rather than the structure. All this interesting aside is present in the textbook. Please go through it. Next, moving further to see the point here, the uses of dam. Why dams are called as multi-purpose? So in that particular point, we are talking about why the dams are called as multi-purpose. This red line I am talking about, right? So for that purpose, dams are used for irrigation purpose. You can have this line, right? Irrigating agriculture field. Next, these are all will come in the uses of dam. The point which I am highlighting here with the red one, electricity generation, water supply for the domestic, okay, industrial uses, flood control, recreation, inland navigation, fish breeding. Okay, so these points are very important, which I marked here. Please copy down these points, and after that you can understand about these points are very important. The question will be there, what are the merits of dam? Question will be, what do you understand by the term dams and what are its merits? Explain in detail or state any 5 advantage of dam. At that time you have to explain about these points. Next, multi-purpose project launch after independence with the integrated water resource management approach, where thought of as a vehicle that could lead the nation to development and progress, overcoming the handicap of its colonial past. Jawaharlal Nehru proudly proclaimed the dam as a temple of modern India. So dear cadet, once again please make a note of this point, that the dams are the temples of modern India. Who stated this? Jawaharlal Nehru, right? So in that the question will be there, why the dams are called as the temple of modern India. The dam as the temples of modern India. Explain or justify the statement, right? Please make a note of it. In your internal examination, this question will be there for 3 marks. So this multi-purpose project are launched after independence, and number of the things were in the progress of nation development. So Jawaharlal Nehru stated about this, the temples of modern India, which are dam. The reason behind that, it would integrate development of agriculture and the village economy and rapid industrialization and the growth of urban economy. Yeah, the point is very simple, that they are called as the temples of modern India because they are enhancing the development of agriculture as well as the village economy with the rapid industrialization and the growth of urban economy. Next, in recent year, multi-purpose project and the large dam have come under great scrutiny and opposition for a variety of reasons. It simply means number of the people which are concerned to the environment and to the people, those who are displaced from their habitat. So they are worried about the nature and environment. Regulating and damming of river affects their natural flow, causing the poor sedimentation. So whatever the point just now I'm reading about that, these points are the disadvantages or the demerits of the dam. In examination, it can be asked what do you mean by the term dams and what are its demerits. At the time you can write about all these points which are just I am highlighting here. With the reddish one which I am highlighting here, please see this. This all will become right. This whole paragraph is talking about the demerits of dam. Next, regulating and damming of rivers affect the natural flow, causing poor sediment flow and excessive sedimentation at the bottom of the reservoir, resulting in the rockier stream bed and the poor habitat for the river's aquatic life. Dam also fragments rivers, making it difficult for aquatic fauna to migrate, especially for swamping. That means for the breeding purpose. The reservoirs that are created on the floodplain also submerge the existing vegetation and soil, leading to its decomposition over a period of time. Next, we are going to see about the further point. I request you, please see the point. Yes, sir. Sir, I am recording the video. That's why I am not able to pick up your call. So can I call you after 5 minutes? Surely, sir. Surely, sir. I will. Okay. Okay. So, these are all the points which are talking in relations to the dams are causing some side effect and ill effects on the nature and the environment. Whatever the reddish part is there, please see it that. Then the multi-purpose project and the large dam have also been caused to many of the new environmental movement, just like the Narmada Bachao Andolan and the Tehri Dam Andolan, etc. The interesting aside is placed in the textbook. Please go through it, and after that we are going to understand about how the multi-purpose project or the large dam can also be the cause of the environmental movement. In economics also we are going to understand about this Narmada Bachao Andolan, why the people are fighting for this. The resistance to these projects has primarily been due to the large-scale displacement of the local community. Local people often had to give up their land, livelihood and their emerge across the control over the resource for the greater good of the nation. In 8th standard also in political science you studied about the story of Dadu. In that the story was speaking the same. The people were displaced from the place to construct the dam. So for the construction of the dam, the people are displaced from there and they are giving their lands and livelihood for the good cause, for the nation. And finally, their all things are left over. They are losing each and everything. So if the local people are not benefiting from such projects, so then who is benefited? And perhaps the landlord and the large farmer, industrialists and few urban centers will be there. They are going to be benefited. Take the case of landless in the village. Does he really gain from such project? So no. So by seeing this particular point, we are understanding about these projects are benefiting to whom, and there is a ill effects on whom. So that's why number of the movement has been arise on this, just like Narmada Bachao Andolan, Tehri Dam Andolan, and so on. Next, irrigation has also changed the cropping pattern of many regions, with the farmers shifting to water intensive and commercial crop. This has great ecological consequences like salination of the soil. At the same time, it has transformed the social landscape, that is increasingly social gap between the richer landlord and the landless poor. So see about how the multi-purpose river project are affecting to the lives of the people. Next, the last point, as we see, the dam did create conflict between the people wanting different uses and benefits from the same water resources. In Gujarat, the Sabarmati basin, farmers were aggrieved and almost caused a right over the high priority given to the water supply in urban areas, particularly during drought. Next, in the textbook also, few examples have been given which are talking about the water dispute between the interstate water dispute are also becoming a common with regard to sharing the cost and benefits of multi-purpose project. So in your textbook, one do you know is present about that, and it's talking about the Krishna Godavari dispute is due to the objection raised by the Karnataka and Andhra government. It is regarded the diversion of the more water to Koyna by the Maharashtra government for the multi-purpose project. This will reduce the downstream flow in the states and adverse consequence for agriculture and industry. Next, moving further to see the point. Most of the objection to the project arose due to the failures of achieving the purpose for which they were built. Ironically, the dams that were constructed to the control flood have triggered floods due to the sedimentation in the reservoir. Moreover, the big dams have mostly been unsuccessful in controlling floods at the time of excessive rainfall. So, up to now we were all talking about the demerits of dam and the merits of dam, and what do you mean by dam. Lastly, you may have seen or read how the release of water from the dam during heavy rainfall aggravate, that means increase the flood situation in Maharashtra and Gujarat in 2006. So here we are seeing the causes and the effects of dams in a positive or in a negative way, both. Last, the map work we are going to discuss. The floods have not only devastated the life and properties but also caused extensive soil erosion. Sedimentation also made that the flood plains were deprived of slip or a natural fertilizer, further adding on the problems of land degradation. It also observed that the multi-purpose project induced earthquake causes waterborne diseases and pest and pollution resulting from excessive use of water. So these are all the side effect and the demerits of the dam. Please make a note of it, understand it. If you are facing any problem, please ask to me. Last topic is about the flood. This is the interesting aside. Collect information about the water prone disease of the country. Read this one and get benefited. Next, last, the map work. This is the map work placed in the textbook. Please go through it. On which river, which dam is there, please make a note of it. It is going to be asked for 1 marks in the examination. Lastly, I want to thank to each and everyone for watching this video. Please be safe and secure at your home. Jai Hind to one and all. If you haven't subscribed my channel, please subscribe it and share to one and all. Thanking to each and everyone. Jai Hind.